I hope to be okay today, just seeing if it's working. I hope everybody's okay. I'm reading a book at the moment, and it's by Edward Shorter, and it's called A History of Psychiatry. It's published by John Wiley and Son Incorporated. Um, John Edward Shorter is PhD, is Hannah Professor in the History of Medicine at the University of Toronto. He's the author of 10 books, including the international bestseller The Making of Modern Family and the 2-volume history of psychosomatic illness. So this is a history of psychiatry, and so far I've got to the first 50 pages, and I'm enjoying it. One of the things that comes across in this book is there's a variety of different schools of thought on the history of psychiatry, and that's interesting. You know, from a historical perspective, I like history and looking at things from a historian's point of view, that there are these different schools of thought of how we look at the history of psychiatry, and he's trying to give, in his perspective, a more balanced view, which don't necessarily agree, because I'd have to do my own research to find out whether he's correct or not. But that's what he perceives himself to be doing. So I just think it's interesting that there are these revisionists, these various schools of thought that write on the history of psychiatry, and that he's critiquing them and writing a history that he thinks is being more objective. So it's an interesting book to read. One of the things that struck me in the early work of psychiatry is that there were hospitals in the Middle Ages that did cater for those who were mentally unwell, which I thought was interesting. And there were private houses in the time of the Enlightenment that took people in. But what I found interesting is the alienation of people with mental illness. You know, throughout history, how they've been alienated, how they've not been catered for as much as they should. And even today, I've been getting involved in helping somebody who has psychiatric problems, and they went into hospital, and I helped them and helped their family. And I had to write a letter to the local MP. I had to write a covering letter to various mental health professionals who were the head, professionals who were head of the mental health profession, in order to make sure that this person got the best care that they could ever have. And they were taken from a place that was not helpful for them to, and they were put in a place that was provided the best care possible. But that wouldn't have happened if it wouldn't have been for me being an advocate. And this happened recently, and in the last few weeks, and it just, I think that things are getting a little bit better for those who have mental illness in hospitals, but I think there's a big work to be done. And that's why I'm reading this book, because I want to get a background in the history of the psychiatric profession, and I really want to do something and speak out for those who don't have a voice. And you know, often I think that those who are mentally ill don't have the rights that other people have, and I don't think it's fair. So this is a book I'm enjoying reading, and I would encourage you to get hold of the book if you're a doctor, if you're interested in psychology, sociology, if you're interested in philosophy, philosophy of the mind. This is an interesting book to read. It looks at Freud, it looks at Jung, it looks at some of the great psychologists, how they impacted psychiatry. It looks at the new chemical ways of dealing with psychiatric problems. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that, and I find it fascinating. So I recommend that book to you. Okay. All right, I'm going to do 1 or 2 more videos. All right.